Hey, Mr. BB Bear here. Is the OnePlus 5T worth it? Let's find out. Now, I've always been an Apple iPhone user. However, lately smartphones are just getting so good that the OnePlus 5T was actually one of those packages that seemed to be such a great value that I had to get my hands on one of them. The phone itself is $499 in the US, and in Australia where I live, I can get one online for as low as $599, and I picked up myself the Lava Red edition, the 128GB one with 8GB of RAM. Now, talking about the design, the OnePlus 5T compared to the old counterpart OnePlus 5 really just has shrunken bezels, but in its own self, this phone's design really competes with other flagship smartphones in its own caliber. Now, in comparison with the iPhone 8 Plus, which is the last phone that I had as my daily driver, the OnePlus 5T really steps up its game in the screen factor, and its shrunken bezels just makes the phone look so much more futuristic compared to my iPhone 8 Plus. Even though it's a really good phone, it just doesn't seem as modern-like as the new OnePlus 5T. Now, moving on to the features of this phone. The phone features flagship specs, including dual cameras, 6 to 8GB of LPDDR4 RAM, depending on the model that you get, a Snapdragon 835 CPU, Adreno 540 graphics, the dash charge, which is the main feature of this phone that I reckon a lot of people are attracted to, which we will get into shortly, and keeping the almighty rare headphone jack. Now, moving on to the material of this phone, which is anodized aluminium with a weight of 153 grams that feels super light compared to my old iPhone 8 Plus. However, my version is the Lava Red Oneplus 5T, and the operating system is Oxygen OS based on Android Nougat 7.1.1. The screen itself contains a 6-inch optic AMOLED 1080 by 2160 display with a PPI of 401. This screen most definitely still looks amazing and is nothing to be disappointed about. The colors simply look great, and the viewing angles aren't bad either compared to some other flagship smartphones. Now, moving on to the performance of this phone, it simply is no slouch. It is super snappy, and my model contains 128GB of flash storage alongside the 8GB of RAM. Not only have I felt no lag using this phone, the Oxygen OS provides an almost near stock Android experience. I love the ability to unlock my phone, which has both a super quick fingerprint sensor, and the feature that attracted myself most was the Face ID. This face recognition feature is by far the best thing about this phone to me, and it's just simply super fast, if not too fast. It most definitely doesn't use the same 3D mapping technology as the iPhone X and may not seem as secure. However, I haven't been able to fool this facial recognition feature, and it simply works so well. Now, moving on to the camera department of this phone. It contains dual cameras, a 16 megapixel and a 20 megapixel count with EIS, and the front being 16 megapixels. One difference is that the 5T no longer has a telephoto range lens, which I do miss at times, which is swapped for a lower megapixel count for having better low light shots. In my testings, I think it works quite well, and I am happy with the shots, but it just simply won't blow your mind. Even if you compare it with any other phone, especially the Google Pixel 2, you will see a difference. Smartphone selfies are getting quite good lately, and the OnePlus 5T is just simply not too bad either. It's quite decent. However, a lot of the photos that I get out of the OnePlus 5T show to be quite soft, however usable and decent for a lot of things like Snapchat and social media. By no means the camera department of this phone is not going to blow your mind. It is not going to be the top-notch contender, however it's decent enough for the average consumer. However, the king of smartphone cameras is still going to be the Google Pixel 2. Now, moving on to the video department, and this phone can shoot 4K as well. It is also nice to see that it is quite decent out of its camera. It has EIS, which is electronic image stabilization. It works quite well for what it is, and here's a sample video and you can be the judge for yourself on the quality. Now moving on to the topic of battery life, and for many flagship smartphones having super good performance, there is no point having the best performance and really poor battery life. For the long term, you probably won't want to use that phone a lot. The phone has a 3300 mAh battery, and this phone features dash charge, which simply works amazing. It doesn't have wireless charging, and it's something I really do miss, but with this dash feature, it has kind of gotten me to forget about wireless charging. I have charged this phone from 0 to 50 in just 30 minutes, and I haven't had to worry about battery life all day, because I even know that a 10-minute charge will allow me to use the phone for an extra few hours. Now moving on to the speakers of this phone. Sound quality of the OnePlus 5T, it just doesn't sound anywhere close to the dual stereo speakers found on some flagship smartphones, such as the iPhone X or the Google Pixel 2 line. Reception call quality has been perfect, and I have simply not had an issue with this phone, and the phone, however, does not have a water resistance rating, but even if water gets on this phone, it will survive most definitely. Moving on to the conclusion of this video, do I recommend you guys to buy the OnePlus 5T? Put simply, I love this phone, and I highly recommend this if you want to ever move from an Apple device into the Android ecosystem. This was only one of the phones that could really attract my eye, and I have no regrets getting it. The best features about this phone is its dash charge feature, which I can charge this phone up super quick. I don't need the wireless charging feature. And second of all is the facial recognition, which just works so quick. Well, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is Mr. BB Bear. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.